I know when the hotline bling, it won't only mean one thing. You lose. I know when that hotline bling, it can only mean one thing. Dismissed. Ever since I lost the case, you don't call me on the cell phone.
Are you now recording, Philip?
Yes, I've been recording. I'm recording my sweet sounds. It's a sweet serenade.
Good stuff. Good stuff. I've excellent news, Phil.
What, Danny?
Excellent news. I've got my MacBook back from repair.
Oh, nice.
So I'm now back to the normal recording. Our producer will be happy to know.
Did they upgrade it?
They did not, but they fixed it. I think I'm now ready to tell the traumatizing story of how it got damaged.
Okay, whatever you do not update to iOS 26. Do not.
No, that's not what happened. So I'm still on the last Intel Mac before they moved to M1, right? And it was overheating. Every time we were recording, it was...
Shout out to Johnny Ive.
The fan was going insane. And after a few minutes of us recording, it was... You guys will probably hear in previous episodes where I'm like complaining about the laptop, right? So I thought, you know what? Genius idea. I'm going to take some ice cubes from the freezer. I'm going to put them in a watertight plastic seal. And then I'm going to sit them right on where the CPU normally sits so it doesn't overheat. Little did I know that what I thought was a watertight plastic seal was not watertight at all.
No, this has to be wow. People call you boss. People look up to you and like, yo, this is a person of authority. I'm entrusting this person with my career.
So I had liquid damage on my MacBook. I took it to the repair guys. They told me, straight face, looking me in the eyes. They said $500. Anyway, shout out to them. They were very professional. They fixed it. They even replaced. So it turns out my fans were clogged with dust. So that's why it was overheating. So it was a super simple, just blow out the dust and it would have gone back. I thought it was, hey, Apple is now slowing down iOS, Apple macOS because of the new what? Hey, No, my fans were just clogged with dust. So anyway, so I had to get the liquid damage fixed. Then apparently there was liquid damage not only on the logic board, but also on the display. And also I had to replace my battery. So I'm broke, but I have my machine back and it is working smooth like butter. We're back to normal recording. I'm happy. But if anyone wants to do a swap and top Intel for M4, all at your boy. All at your boy. I'm now ready for silicon. Yeah, but we're back, Phil. We're back. It's a good week. I got my MacBook back. I do not have money though, but that doesn't matter. Because we are cooking with gas. How was your week, Phil?
It's been busy, Dan. It's been busy. As some of the listeners might have gleaned, it's been a tough year, Dan. You spend some time reflecting, praying for work, praying for opportunities. And then you're inundated with them. Like now, I'm just like, I don't know what to do. Sometimes you're just stuck at the desk, like, shit, I got so much to do. What do I do? This has been one of those weeks, But you're so busy, you can't sleep, but you wake up and you're like, screw it, let's go. Just happy to be working, happy to get things going, happy to get things moving. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, very productive on both fronts. Got a lot of clients right now. A lot of work that needs to be done. We'll get into some of that a bit later. Dan was busy schmoozing and hobnobbing with them. Also, it was embarrassing. Just shameless behavior. Shameless behavior.
Never that. When we get into it, I'll let you know how what she said. Her actual words to me was like, "We've met before, haven't we?" I was like, "Yes, we have." I'm glad you remember because I barely remember, but I'm glad you remember.
How do you mean? You barely remember?
That's what I said. Yeah. Have we? Oh yeah, I think we have actually. Anyway, we'll get into that.
If you say so.
Maybe you met me, but I don't think I've met you. But no, let's get the show started. We missed a week, so I know that the listeners are craving the ritual of listening to Two Broke Twimbos. So Phil, I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to ask the listeners, are y'all
good to go?
I said, are y'all
good to go? Sound a big thing now. Get mad now.
Let me hear a drum play.
Are you good to go? Are you good to go?
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, one more again to another episode of your favorite podcast. Despite what you might hear about on the internet, Dan and Phil are still remaining the same way that they've been all along. Please don't Google Dan and Phil. You'll get the wrong results. Welcome to another episode of your favorite podcasts. Your boy be Danny that guy, aka Danos the Mad Titan, aka Denford Wegumaraini, aka Denimbi, my life, your entertainment, aka Phil. Are we going to work tomorrow?
What do you mean going to work?
No, it's good. It's good. I know there's someone was calling for one, but we don't listen to such detractors. AKA,
is it the same Bali from the last time?
Yes, it is.
Come on, bruh. Give it a rest, bruh. Give it a rest. Give your stairways a stairway, bruh. Come on now. That's right. He's here with the unmistakable, the irrefutable, the unquestionable, the undeniable, the indeterminable. Phil Chad, aka Flame Floss, the big boss, baby, aka Feeds Up P, aka Sexton Lovu, aka Filthy Phil, aka Phil on Musk, and of course, Shamari Tingero Drinky. Somebody tingero drinky. Hey, somebody tingero drinky. Make it a double.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of your favorite podcast. Like I said earlier, we apologize for missing last week. We just happened to be so busy, and we were unable to coalesce and collaborate to make at least even an emergency episode. We tried, but sorry about that, guys. But we are here.
What happened? You had I was busy and then
you missed the date, and you said it's not possible. Then you said, "Can we record on the weekend?" I was like, "I feel." Come on, man.
No. Hey,
come on,
dude. I've been pulling all-nighters for a whole week, bruh.
Yeah. So I thought I had a 2-hour window when the missus was going to get her nails done, but it turns out I did not even have that. So. Anyway, apologies for that. We are back again this week. It's not like we're not busy.
Did she drop a fit about her new nails done?
She did indeed, Phil. She did indeed. I believe
Wait,
it's
how
sitting...
often is your wife getting her nails done? Because I feel like she just dropped a nail vid last week. Like, what's going on here?
No, the last week you're talking about is the weekend. That was when she was getting her nails done. Which is when you were like, no, hey, let's record a GGG. No, we're not, Phil. I was actually teasing her because I was like, before you got married, you didn't really get your nails done, did you? And she's like, yeah, look, I'm married.
So you're complaining that your wife got married and she's upped her game.
I did not even complain. I just made an observation. What have you guys been speaking? Have you guys been talking and comparing notes? Nay. Did you hear me complaining? Anyway.
Awfully defensive over there, buddy. What's going on?
Before we celebrate some people, Phil, we should have done this right at the top of the show. It's a sad week for lovers of the genre that has come to be known as neo soul. But as I watched from a very informative TikTok this week, it's a genre that doesn't actually exist. D'Angelo passed away, age of 51, this past week. Michael D'Angelo Archer. D'Angelo, one of the smooth voices and really the sex symbols of the genre, which he hated, by the way. It was a sad. We had D'Angelo playing on the speaker this whole weekend. Well, no, not weekend. The whole. When was it? I think
because he passed away early this week. Yeah.
It was Monday or Tuesday. Anyway, it was a couple of days that we had it playing. And my wife was especially. I mean, I was a fan, but my wife was a fan. So yeah, we've been listening. And it's sad news, and it's sad to be losing our legends and our goats.
Another death to prostate cancer. Another black death to prostate cancer, bro.
That's such a scary thing to hear, though, right? Because like, I haven't had my prostate checked. Last time,
they won't let you. You're not 40. Like I've tried to check. They won't check your prostate until you turn 40. And I'll just be shouting in the doctor's office. Why won't you stick your finger up my butt? Stick it up there. See what's going on.
This is your 7th time here this week. But yeah, look, we're sad to hear that, and we won't play any of his music. We normally used to do like tributes and stuff, but there's been a lot of takedowns. But yeah, listen to some D'Angelo this week. Sad news. But in a pivot from the sad news to more celebratory news, allow us to let the show go on with some happy news. let's celebrate some Africans doing big things, specifically some Zimbabweans. There's a huge music conference that happens in South Africa. We're expecting it to happen from October the 30th to the 1st of November in Pretoria. It's called Access with one S, Access 2025. It shall be happening in 3 venues in Tshwane, South Africa. And hey, one of the music performers will be Zimbabwe's very own Mwenda Mberi, who has been picked to perform. So shout out
formerly
to
known as Solution. I knew him as Solution. He changed his name, but yeah, he's a great performer. I've been a big fan of his for a while.
Shout out to him. It's a pretty big. It's mostly going to be music professionals there, but that's a great look for him. Also on the performance cards will be Focalistic, Claudio Rabe, Zoe Modiga, Murder, and some other people here. Oh, Taksin is going to be there. That's pretty cool.
So it's a nice spot. It's a nice spot. As you know, like we were invited to do the showcase and the camp in Rwanda last year. It was a fun experience. I had a great time out there. But I think this year I'll be a little too busy to see my way there. I might still make it. We'll see.
Yeah, but good to know that Zimbabwe has representation there. At this point, I also just want to quickly mention, shout out to Marshall Munetsi, who was featured on Joe Hart's podcast this past week. And he was talking about, you know what he was talking about, Phil? He was talking
Joe
about
Hart are you talking about?
Joe Hart, former Manchester City goalkeeper.
Oh, okay.
He's got a podcast. I don't know if it's officially a FIF Pro podcast or if they were just promoting. I don't know. I mean, I haven't followed the details behind it, but I just saw clips of it because obviously Zimbabweans were sharing Marshall Munetsi because Zimbo. Anyway, so he was talking about on this podcast. He said that one of the huge things that's happening that most people don't know about is fake agents who are approaching talented footballers in Africa, including here in Zimbabwe. And they are letting them know that, listen, we can link you up with all the big European clubs. You just got to pay like a $10,000 or $15,000 or $20,000 facilitation fee. And parents who like see the and what these guys do, he says, you know what these fake agents often do is they get pictures with some famous footballers, which is relatively easy to get if you're in the UK or in some of these European countries. And then they build up their profiles as if they are football agents. Then they'll approach these often very vulnerable people and say, listen, your child has a lot of talent. They're doing really well at whatever school they're playing at. I want to link them up with Barcelona or, Real Madrid or blah, 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 Getafe or whatever. And they could go pro. All I need for you to do is you need to pay $10,000 so that I can go and get the blah, 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 and then we fly them over to the European country. And a lot of these parents, what they do is they'll try and sell stuff. They'll sell cars, sell houses, and go into debt and whatever to try and, push for their kids who are talented to get a European deal. And it turns out it's a scam. So Marshall Munetsi was talking about this and it was getting a little bit of a spotlight this week. So shout out to Marshall Munetsi, man, representing, doing his thing and telling the stories that matter. He says that literally he'll be getting calls like, I'm Dara Ndepi. I was looking for your number. Gigi, I'm from Zimbabwe. I've arrived at the airport. The agent I was supposed to meet hasn't come here. I've now been here 2 days. Please help me. And he's like, I've had to take in several people to just like stay at my house for a while because they were promised like professional deals and whatever, and it was a scam. I was like, this is fascinating. I reposted on my Instagram, but I could see people were not really interested. Like, this is not the usual stuff you post. But anyway, shout out to Marshall Munetsi for that story. Okay, Phil, let's get the show going. What would you like to talk about? Why don't we start our conversation, Phil, with the feeling of FOMO that I felt this past weekend when I was watching my Instagram stories and I saw people in South Africa having the time of their lives at a Travis Scott concert in Joburg.
A Travis Scott, you had FOMO. You. Dan, let's not lie to each other. You, Travis Scott, let's not lie to each other.
I'm podding. I'm just podding.
Let's not lie to each other.
I'm podding.
It's got to be believable, Dan. For you to be podding, it has to be believable. People have to believe you.
Okay. I won't lie. Obviously, I know Travis Scott is one of the biggest hip-hop artists in the world, but I didn't know he had that much motion. Yo!
Oh, what you mean didn't have that much? Dude.
Okay, let me put it this way.
I was gonna tell you the story, but you know that Gwen had with Jenny, right?
Yeah.
Technically, it was because of Travis Scott and his influence over South African artists.
What? How? Oh, because of okay.
And that was almost a decade ago, bruh.
Are you talking about Jenny Tan?
Dude, you got to put the whole name out there. Jeez
No,
Louise,
Phil, we know multiple Jennies. I have to confirm who you're talking about.
Dude, there's only one Jenny who would be linked to Travis Scott. Please be serious.
You'd be surprised, is what I'm saying. Anyway, yes, okay. Cool. Anyway, long story short, Travis Scott was on tour. He's doing a world tour. He was in Joburg, FNB Stadium. People have estimates of 75,000 plus in attendance. And the videos seem to confirm it was packed. And it was
lit.
Mad energy. And it was mosh pitting. And I was like, wait, didn't Travis Scott have a concert where people died? And I can see how that happened. It was insane. Just from the videos I was watching. But obviously the conversation was very interesting about, look, it's now been several concerts in South Africa that have been at this massive level, right? There was Chris Brown just a couple of months ago now. Don't forget Global Citizen. Now, yeah. No, Chris Brown relatively recently. It wasn't a year ago.
Chris Brown was December.
Oh, snap. Oh, okay, damn, time is moving. Okay, and then Global Citizen not too long ago, and then of course we spoke about Hey Neighbor last year and all of that, right? So here's these huge shows that are happening in South Africa with some of the world's biggest artists. I've been following sort of the conversation online, and people were talking about, okay, clearly now that some of these videos are coming out, it's probably pretty clear that some of the world's biggest artists are going to add South Africa to their world tours. It would be stupid not to, because there's clearly the infrastructure is there, the interest is there, sold out stadiums, etc., etc. You disagree?
I can have an immediate rebuttal. So there's one thing: South Africa technically has the capacity to take in someone on a world tour.
Mm-hmm.
However, let's map this out. So I'm on my world tour. I start in America. I do American states, travel. I then go across the pond. I'm now in London. Travel. I bet now I've got an option. Do I go south to America, to Southern Africa or Africa? Or do I go to Asia? Because when I go to Asia, I'm not just doing China. I'm doing maybe a bit of Russia, China,
like Malaysia, Indonesia, blah, blah, blah.
Singapore, blah, 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 Japan, Hong Kong, mainland China. There's maybe even hop over to Australia, maybe even New Zealand, multiple cities in Australia and New Zealand. I bet if I'm coming to Africa, where am I going?
Just South Africa. I hear it. But what is the real stumbling block there? It's just a flight.
No, it's not just a flight. And that's kind of the thing people don't consider. If I'm at world tour arena level,
yeah,
I'm fully kitted out with my own setup, which means I've got a freight plane carrying my stuff. The cost of you taking that plane to do a 10-hour flight, and it's 10 hours there, stop, and 10 hours back is too much.
So what is his own setup for Travis Scott, for example?
I haven't seen his tech rider, but I do know he's got quite an expensive setup. You could then obviously, if you're doing a different type of tour, which not necessarily a world tour, because the other thing is like branding is so strong with touring these days. You see that every city gets an almost identical setup because that's what you're paying for. You're paying for, hey, I saw this, what they did in London. I want to experience that too, wherever I'm at. And you feel shortchanged because you're paying an extreme premium on these tickets if you're anywhere else in the world. So you don't want to disenfranchise or disappoint your fans in that way. So it's a catch-22. So I can come to South Africa if it's just me. Because, it's a once-off show. I'm getting the bag. You know what I mean? Because that's a different thing. All the risk is on the promoter. But if it's a world tour, it's shared risk between the promoter and the artist.
Mm. Okay, I hear you. It's something I hadn't considered. I hadn't even thought about that. And okay, I get it. And but would it be that, like, even if you fly to China, it's not like it's a hop, skip, and a jump away to Singapore. It's still a significant flight. It's still a flight to,
not as much, because let's not forget, Africa is bigger than North America and to a certain degree Southern America. So it's a long flight. That's a lot of fuel. The only way it kind of makes sense, kind of makes sense, is if you do the UAE, Dubai, or Saudi Arabia.
I was
and
about
then
to say, yeah.
you come down. But it's still quite a massive investment, and it's a schlep. And keep in mind, right? The other thing is you're also dealing with service providers on the ground because South Africa isn't a regular stop for world tours. There's less trust that they can handle what needs to be handled. And even like with the Travis Scott show, there were some complaints of technical glitches because when you're doing a show of that scale, there's things are going to go wrong, especially if this is your first time doing it. You know what I mean? It's not like you've had 3 weeks to iron out all the kinks. You've got one night and one night only to make it work. That's a nightmare.
I mean, 75,000 plus ticket sales plus merch. You could make an argument for it.
Let's not forget this was a Castle Lights event. So Castle Lights are putting the bag up already, and Castle Light have always put the bag up.
So fun. I was having a conversation with the person this side in charge of the brand, and they were like, remember when we went to the previous events? It's unfortunate that life moves in the direction where you now send others. Phil.
Did people from Zim go?
I went to Post Malone.
No,
Castle Light
I'm
Unlocks.
talking to this one.
Yes. People from Zim went. I don't know who specifically, but there were a couple of media people and there was winners, but I don't know who exactly.
Oh, nice.
So we were just talking about, remember when we went to these things? I was like, yeah. Anyway, we move. It is what it is. But this wasn't Castle Light Unlocks, was it?
It was.
Oh, okay. Snap. Oh, so I completely misunderstood. Okay, okay, that makes a lot of things make sense then. Also, was it this past weekend it was the previous weekend when Rocking the Daisies happened. And the big name at Rocking the Daisies was Summer Walker. There were also a couple other people, including what's her name? Jess Reyes. A couple other people. What did you see? Did you see any news about that?
About Rocking the Daisies?
Yeah.
Not much. I did see the follow-up news about Summer Walker's show In the City being cut off, but Rocking the Daisies not so much, man. I've been so busy, that's why we missed the podcast. Sadly, I've been a bit of a washed busybody.
Okay, quick Google. News 24 says Rocking the Daisies delivers an underwhelming 20th anniversary edition. That feels rough. But anyway. That was so. I was listening to 6 Foot Weights, and apparently Senna went to go watch Summer Walker, and he told a hilarious story about how in the middle of her set, Summer Walker announces Scissor, and then everyone goes, "Oh snap! What surprise performance by Scissor!" And then it's like. And then it's like
6XN.
It's like Isaka and what it's like. I shame, man. That's not the Caesar you were expecting. It's the other Caesar, the one who sang Isaka. So unfortunate. I thought that was funny. But yeah, actually, now that we're talking about it, I didn't see that much conversation about Rocking the Daisies.
It seems to be a very difficult time for festivals right now in South Africa. Well, I guess maybe regionally to a certain degree, maybe globally with the economy. But
my wife would have loved this. So Summer Walker, Mariba, Jessie Reyes.
Division was in Joburg this weekend. That's another thing she would have loved.
No, I tried to send her some Division songs. She was like, yeah, it's cool. I don't know why. For some reason, she doesn't like it. She doesn't like that.
What, you telling me your wife didn't like, if I get caught cheating?
Yes. Funny enough, she likes Chris Martin's, oh Lord, don't let me cheat on my girlfriend.
Yo, Chris Martin might as well just buy a house in Harare.
Yeah. Nah, shout out to Chris Martin, actually. Shout out to Chris Martin. He's if we're moving on from these South African concerts, so this past weekend was the Kadoma Music Festival. I actually have to give props to the Kadoma Music Festival. They've been growing it year by year, and as much as it feels like they almost have like a guerrilla approach to like putting it out there, it's working. And apparently, this past weekend was the biggest they've ever had. And the headline act was Chris Martin and Busy Signal, as well as Winky D and all the big major artists. And it was huge, apparently. And all the feedback I've seen, because people were talking about it afterwards, was like, the show was incredible. It was amazing. I didn't go. I mean, I feel like I'm not going to drive to Kadoma do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But apparently it was really good. And we had Chris Martin over at ZFM. He did an interview, and like he's cool. He's like, he's a proper rock star. He's a proper rock star.
On Sunday, I was heading I had to do some work, and Steve Vickers was on your competitor station, and then Nikki and someone else had just come back from Kadoma Festival, so they had like hoarse voices and everything, and they were even telling a story that during the festival, Chris Martin disappeared, and people couldn't find where Chris Martin was, and eventually they found him in general access, just chilling with people. And they're like, dude, what the hell? Get back to you. And he's like, nah, I'm gonna chill with the peeps.
Even like, obviously, like everyone was rushing to take photos. He was so patient. Photo with everyone. Let's go. Let's do it. And, he talked to people. He was, my respect for him like went up a notch. I was actually like, you know what? This is a proper rock star. He takes fame in stride. You know what I mean? And he like handles it. Shout out to him, man.
Yeah.
But while we're on the topic, also one of the headline acts was Busy Signal, Phil. Now,
What?
Busy Signal.
Was this AI signal or real signal?
So Winky D, the week before last, released his latest single. And as you know, whenever Winky D drops, the earth shakes. And it was featuring Busy Signal. Huge international collaboration. Shout out to Winky D for, doing his thing. But we may as well get into this conversation now. I have it further down in the talking points, but we may as well get into it. The name of the song is Drink Up, Problems Away. And, catchy song. Winky D featuring Busy Signal. It's a song about drinking and letting the problems go away and having a good time. Great summer song. I expect it to be in playlists throughout November and December. And everyone is like, problems away, problems away, problems away. I think it's going to be a big song. Anyway, Winky D also released the music video for the song. And it is an AI music video, the wave that Winky D has been on recently. And people are upset. People are not happy. In fact, in a Winky D interview last week, I think, people were asking him, we just want you to confirm, is it really Busy Signal on your song or is it like AI Busy Signal? Mm-hmm. This is where it's gotten. The song sounds very catchy, but the fact that there's an AI music video is like, I mean, I don't like it, and I can see a lot of people don't like it, but then there's a lot of people who are saying, no, you have to keep up with the times. It is what it is. This is what the world is now. What are our common sense tech ombudsman, but also crossover with music business thoughts on this story?
Oh. You go first.
Okay. Here's my thoughts. I don't like AI music videos. I do think that it's the wrong use of AI. I do think you should use AI tools, right? These generative tools, or rather generative AI, let's put it that way, tools in your production. I think those tools should be used for enhancing quality, adding effects where you don't have the budget to be able to pay for, full on, what do they call it? Effects, full on effects. You should integrate it for perhaps doing your mood board, your scripting, absolutely. But just randomly generating this low quality video, I hate it. I don't like it. That having been said, I do think we're in a stage of weird experiments that people are doing, because this is emerging technology. People are still experimenting with it. So there'll be a lot of stuff that I don't like and that people don't like, and there'll be stuff that people like. And we're in experiment stage. Things will equalize as time goes, and we'll find hopefully the sweet medium that everyone accepts. But in the meantime, I hate it. I can't stand it. One of my actually probably my favorite artist in Zim, Natty O, he announced his
I
own.
listened to that.
Yeah, and I remember thinking like, come on, bro, man, I love your music and I love you, but I hate this. But it's this weird stage where everyone's experimenting with stuff, and you would expect that those people who are sort of front and center in trying to create new spaces and new sounds and new things, they're probably going to also experiment. But I hate it, and I actually don't have that much grace for it, to be honest. Anyway, so I saw the new Winky D. So I listened to the song. I was like, oh, dope. Okay, summer song from Winky D. And then the video came out, and I was like, I watched a few seconds of it, and I just hated it. It felt wrong, soulless, low budget, like not what you'd expect from arguably Zimbabwe's first or second biggest artist. So
yeah, I mean, the reason why I asked Dan to go first is I don't want to make it seem like I'm always like piling on Winky. Because I love him. I genuinely do love Winky D, but some of the decisions he's made in recent years are head scratches. More so, not only are you lazily putting together an AI music video, I don't understand how you were doing this. A week before, you're going to be with the real version of the person in the same country, performing with him on the same stage.
I saw someone put this take on Twitter, and I thought, okay, I might be able to accept this like 20%, where someone said, the AI music video is the equivalent of a lyric video. So this is not the official music video.
What a dumb take. How is it the lyric?
Hear me out.
Lyrics of the video?
Obviously, as in the concept is this is a sort of low budget initial release. The real music video will come when Winky D actually spends time with Busy Signal because he's in the country. So I was like, okay, I hear the take and I hear it, but I still don't like the AI video.
It's a bad take because you're literally saying, you're telling us you are making content for the sake of content's sake. That's it. It's no longer art, it's no longer music. You are just releasing content. And now you're no longer an artist, you're a content creator.
Okay. I mean, imagine the team sitting together and they're like, baby, you all right? I'll watch it after the podcast, babes. Phil, you'd be happy to know that your commissioned, sponsored influencer video is ready for review.
I moved from South Africa to Zim, and Phil gave me a migraine.
I'll watch it after, baby. Okay. No, it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay, baby. It's okay. Anyway, I was saying, imagine a boardroom, not a boardroom, but like imagine the studio, artist, manager, PR manager, whoever, they're sitting down. They're like, hey guys, so, okay, here's the story. We've managed to secure this big international collaboration. Busy Signal is, I think he's even been in the press, like bigging up Winky D and stuff. Busy Signal's on this collaboration, dope. We are going to do a music video, but that music video is only going to come out in November. But we want to catch the wave, right? Because the song has come out. We want to prime it for summer, festive season. We wanted to start building momentum now in mid-October. Mm-hmm. So we're going to release the song, and everyone knows in Zimbabwe, YouTube is the biggest DSP essentially. So we need something on YouTube. We could just put the audio up, but surely we can do something better than that. Could we do a lyric video? Yeah, we could. But okay, what about, we've done a couple of videos with Juicy Dementa. We've done some AI videos. What if we did that? And then we'll do the official music video later. I can see people discussing that and like, yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, it's a smaller budget. We can put it together. At least we have it out there and we have the song percolating. It's cooking. Now, I don't agree with the sort of reasoning and the conclusion that was come to. But I can see where some people might think that, and I can see the conversation happening. I can see the song is now out. I would have preferred just do a lyric video because you have a use case for it. Or if not a lyric video, it's okay. Just do some promo content. just do some, hey, new song out, blah, 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 blah. And then when the official music video drops, whenever it's ready, it's all good. Alternatively, maybe there is no official music video. Maybe Busy Signal flew in on the morning of the show, did the show, and flew out the next day, and there was no time to do a video. So, I don't know.
So
either way, I just don't like that.
Here's where this story falls apart once again. Granted, I don't know what conversations he's having with his collaborators, but even if they're not in the video, Winky, just record yourself recording the song. Record yourself driving. Record yourself working out. Record yourself taking a walk. And just put the lyrics against that. Do you know, like, there's an Adekunle Gold song that's sitting on like $3 million. That all it is them recording the song.
2 million views, yeah.
Or just, you're busy. When you record the song, big brother, just record yourself, yeah? Even just, dude, when you on your flight to Zim, just simple vlog like you're doing Instagram. You're not,
Yeah.
dude. Actually, send me all the videos in your camera roll that you're not using. Just shoot me those.
Yeah.
Right, let's figure something out. Dude, there's so many ways to do this, so many creative ways to do it. And actual creative ways. I don't feel like prompt engineering is a creative way to push a song. It's terrible. Like, I hate this. I hate this trend so much, man. I hate this trend so much.
Yeah.
I can't wait for this bubble to be over. Granted, we missed it. We're going to talk about how all these AI companies are literally just swapping money around and doing these circular deals, which may or may not be illegal. Time will tell. But I can't wait for the bubble to burst after all this comes to light. And we stop dealing with this hype, because there's so many good things about LLMs, not necessarily AI, or generative AI. But one of the things that I am not a fan of is this whole Sora VO nonsense.
Really? Okay, tell me what your thoughts are on that.
I think like it's a good tool, as you said, for getting ideas out, like small idea concepts, storyboards, that type of thing. I have no issue with that as a tool, right? But when it now becomes the finished product, what are we doing here? So here's the other thing that I've been trying to contextualize, and I finally have the words to kind of like put it together, is AI videos aren't even the finished product. They don't look like the finished product. They look like the draft. If you gave me a cartoon and the cartoon had no consistency in continuity, the cartoon character had no consistency in the design, like it shifted from scene to scene and you couldn't recreate the scene, to me, that would be like, oh, this is a draft. Your movie's not finished. Like this episode isn't done. So why is it when it's drawing, we don't accept this? But when it's AI, we accept half-baked goods. That's the other thing. Like, it's one thing if it's a machine. It's one thing if it's not human. But if it's now something that's been made by a machine, why are we okay with it being so inconsistent and being used commercially? This thing is still in beta testing. And we're being fed beta tested products. It's like going to buy a car and sometimes the wheels are round and sometimes the wheels are triangles. And we have to be okay with that. That's wild.
I mean, I don't think we are okay. Okay. This is emerging technology. It's not perfect. It's going to reach its final form where I'm sure we are almost close to it. I don't think, the incredibly rapid progress is going to stall at some point. There's nothing that continues to iterate forever. Then it's going to be very marginal improvements. I think we are close to that stage. I don't think LLMs are going to get that much better, honestly. I think we'll have ChatGPT. We're going to have GPT-5, maybe GPT-6, 7. And it's going to be minor improvements, and then we're going to reach the cap. And then we're going to start finding use case scenarios for what it actually is, which is this incredibly advanced predictive engine. Amazing. But it's not going to be this all-knowing AGI, blah, 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 right? In the meantime, the generative aspect of it is like videos. As much as they do little improvements and tweaks and whatever, it's you're never going to be able to say, create a 2-hour movie for me that is very interesting and stars Scarlett Johansson. That's just not going to happen.
That's what people think will happen, though. That's the disappointing part.
Yeah. At best, maybe you can use, do a storyboard for me of this, and then you shoot the movie based on that. Or there's a particular really difficult scene, right, that would normally require you to spend millions of dollars of animation or, VFX or whatever the case is, and you're like, maybe I can use VO3 or I can use Sora. Maybe by then it'll be Sora 7 or whatever. And like I can use that to sort of create this effect or create this whatever. I think those will be the use cases that it exists for. In the meantime, there's going to be a lot of experiments. There's going to be a lot of people trying this and trying that, and this won't work and that won't work. Some of them will be artists and we won't like what they do and we must communicate. We don't like this. But then some stuff will be like, okay, actually we are cool with this. We must be vocal in how we communicate it, but we should expect it, right? I don't like it, but I expect that that's what's going to happen. Actually, I really dislike it. It feels like, come on, man, you have millions of fans. Literally, this is not an exaggeration. You have millions of fans. Like, how valuable is it to show that the soul, the care, the appreciation of putting something together that shows that I'm giving you something? This feels so enter prompt, enter a couple of prompts, stitch it together, here you go. It's like, so come on, man. Can't you see how it feels? Now,
and do not, sorry to cut you off, but I just realized something. It's also not like Winky D fans get a lot of Winky D.
Yeah. It's rare. That's also true. It's not like he has 12 videos this year and this is the one AI video he did. We haven't seen nothing from him. That having been said, I also understand he's in a bit of a difficult situation and, for reasons that those who know. But, okay. A thought that just sort of jumped into my head right now. There's a...
That is really picking his word.
Yeah, I don't want to be too insulting because obviously I love Winky D and I love his music. Let me put it this way. I think there's a certain element of disrespecting your audience with going that route. That having been said, I think there's also some people who don't see it the way I see it. This week I was at a conference, the cybersecurity conference, where there was a lot of conversation about AI and cybersecurity and etc. And there's many, probably hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people who think the right thing to do is to embrace new technology. And the way to embrace new technology is to use it. From their perspective, that's how they see it. I don't disagree with that premise. Where I disagree is how you use the new technology. And as someone who, look, Phil, I consider myself a technology enthusiast. I have a radio show about technology. I talk about it. In fact, my entire social media right now is technology. And that's partly your fault because we're no longer doing video for this podcast. We need to get serious about doing video, Philip. But
wait, how does us not doing video affect your technology? I don't understand.
No, because I literally just said my entire social media is us doing technology. And I'm like, oh no, but it should also include snippets and clips of this podcast, but it doesn't because we are not doing video.
Okay.
Anyway, that's a side point. My point is, I am an enthusiast about technology. I'm actually bullish about AI. I think there's a lot of things that are currently overhyped. I think there's a lot of things that are purely marketing and PR. But I think the AI tools we have are amazing. I use them regularly. Just before we started recording this show, I was trying to create a JSON format prompt for our AI producer of this show that we use. I think that there's so many use cases for LLMs, for image generation, even video generation. But I don't think the correct use case is our final logo is this thing I generated with Nano Banana. I think that's wrong. I think you should use Nano Banana to prompt ideas. I think you should use it to fix tiny errors. I think you should use it to change things around a little bit. But the actual creative should be human. That's what I think. I think VO3 and Sora 2 should be used to create storyboards, to create ideas, to maybe do specific tasks that you're not able to, because that's what it's good at. But just to create a music video, I think that's a bad use of it. So I just wanted to clarify that I'm not against the use of AI tools. I'm actually for it. I'm bullish on AI. I just think it needs to be applied discriminatorily. And I think it is almost disrespectful to your audiences to just put out an AI video. And yeah.
Is that your TED Talk?
That is indeed my TED Talk. Thank you for coming.
Yeah. And as I said earlier, I can't wait for this bubble to burst. Like I hate this. I hate this era we're in. Oh, it's absolute garbage. It's so bad.
While we're on it, Timbaland released his first official music video with his AI artist. You may have recalled that we spoke about it, I think, in a previous project. And my entire timeline this week was like how Timbaland's lost it. People were saying we lost two legends today. We lost D'Angelo and Timbaland. I was like, geez, this feels, I don't know, man. Anyway, if you recall, he has his AI artist named Tata Takumi or whatever. This whole
Tatalicious.
This whole, it's supposed to be like almost like a live action anime character. He calls it A-pop. They released a music video. I heard a snippet on Twitter. I'm not going to look for it. I'm not going to listen to it. Unless you want to do a live reaction there, Phil.
Nah, I'm cool.
Cool.
I'm a pass. I'd rather live react to a human being. You know what I'm saying?
The only slightest, ever so slight bit of grace I can throw in Timbaland's direction is the world is in experimentation mode. I think he may have gone a bit too far with how he's putting it together. But come on, bro. Anyway, we're still in experimentation mode. The market will determine what works and what doesn't work. Even with Sora 2, the whole AI video feed, I'm surprised to see there's people who actually like it and are enjoying it. Maybe that's going to be a thing. I don't know. They basically created so it's not just the video generation that's in Sora 2. There's also, think of it as a TikTok for AI videos. So you're literally it's vertical videos, and you're scrolling like you would on TikTok or Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts, and you're scrolling watching AI generated videos. And apparently there's a section of society that have they've kind of gotten addicted to it.
And I don't believe in eugenics or anything, but
So while on the topic of AI, I saved a little video on Twitter. I'm not going to play it, but the premise of the video was like the entire industry, this multi-trillion-dollar industry, is based on 4 companies, and it is incredible just how fragile those 4 companies are. The 4 companies are NVIDIA, ASML, TSMC, and Zeiss. Zeiss is a German company that does, you may think of them as doing like camera lenses and stuff. It turns out that they produce something called extreme ultraviolet lithography. ASML, is the one that produces the extreme ultraviolet EUV lithography machines.
Sound it out, baby. Let's go. Let's try again.
So this ASML is this Dutch company. I can't call them small, but it's a Dutch company that makes these lithography machines, which are extremely necessary for NVIDIA to make their GPUs, which are extremely necessary for all the AI companies. Zeiss are the only company in the world that is able to create the high precision optical systems that are necessary for ASML's EUV machines, that are necessary for NVIDIA's chips. It's actually insane, sort of the pipeline that all starts. Each of these is the only company only company in the world that does this. Only company in the world that does this. Only company in the world that does this. Those three companies before you get to OpenAI and the other AI companies. So it's actually so insane. Zeiss makes the ultra high precision optics that are needed for the lithography machines, that are needed for TSMC's semiconductor chips, that are needed for NVIDIA's things. So those 4 companies. And if any of them break, stop, struggle, fail to get rare earth minerals, whatever the case is. In fact, I can't remember. I don't know if it's Zeiss or ASML that they require specific mineral that is only found in one mine in Arizona in the world or something like that. It's actually so insane how fragile the entire ecosystem of this multi-trillion-dollar industry is. And I thought it was just so fascinating. So, it might not burst because of normal market forces. The bubble might burst because of the super fragile pipeline.
I mean, that's one thing. I think that's also doubly concerning because it's fragile on both aspects. It's fragile on the supply line, and it's fragile on its capitalization and financing.
Yeah, also that. And even not only that, but even you go to the marketing, PR, and hype cycle. So there's so many places that it could potentially burst. But yeah, Zeiss, ASML, TSMC, and then NVIDIA. And all of those are super valuable companies now just because of this. Super interesting stuff. But yeah, let's move on from that, Phil. Let's move on from that. Oh, yeah. A quick other story on AI. Did you see the story this week that came out that global consulting firm Deloitte found themselves in hot water this week after they had to pay a refund to the Australian government over a report that they provided that turns out was generated by ChatGPT or whichever AI tool they used, and it contained fabricated and false information, including court judgments, quotes, statistics. So it almost seems like whichever person was there at Deloitte was just like, here's the information, generate the report, print, send. And they charged $440,000 for that report.
There's free money and then there's this. This is fraud. This is wild. Wild.
I mean, it's not fraud. Hey, you guys said we want a report. We generated the report. Here's the invoice, $440,000.
Wait, yeah, exactly. Proofreading wasn't in your package. That's in the $500,000 subscription.
You guys got this bubble is about to burst. Is all I say.
But it's also wild how little people. Have you ever been caught using AI blatantly?
I was thinking about this. I don't know, a couple of weeks ago. That I don't think "caught" is the right word. I receive emails and it's like, this is clearly Phil. I received emails from you, and I'm like, I can see this is not how Phil speaks. I've sent emails.
My email type and my speaking type are very different. That is correct.
Philip, let's not do this. Come on, man. It's me. It's me you're talking to. I know you used tools.
You and our 3 listeners.
I know that you used tools. I also use tools. Anyone who's smart, who's currently in business, is using AI tools. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not mad that I can notice that you used AI tools when I receive an email. Where I have a problem is I feel like you didn't, like you just copy pasted and that was it. You didn't use it just to enhance whatever. Like that's where I feel like, okay, now we're talking about getting caught. Realistically, I feel like 70% of my inbox, I can see that you used a tool here. And it's okay. It's fine. We're all using those tools. Because to be 100% honest with you, I'm taking your email, I'm copy pasting it, and I'm throwing it into my... Or I'm using Gemini Live on my Gmail, and I'm literally like, summarize this for me, you know? So it is what it is. We're all using the tools. It's actually ridiculous because you used AI to write the email. I used AI to read the email. Honestly, we could just skip that and both just send each other the summarized version from the get-go.
Yeah, there's XQCD comic that I saw the other day. It was hilarious, where someone uses his AI to make a 16-page presentation, and then the person they send the email to uses AI to condense the 16-page presentation back to bullet points. And you're like, but you started with bullet points. So
we could have just sent each other the bullet points, but you know, it is what it is. We're in experimentation mode. I think it will equalize over time. So I'm not mad when I notice that.
Dan, when I emailed you and I told you to delve into this topic, you thought that was AI? How dare you?
I feel, I read your email. I was like, Phil, you could have just sent me the bullet points. You could have just sent me the bullet points, but it's okay. This is official record. It needs to have all the information. Cool. I was at a corporate training retreat and I saw to be honest, this is partly why I'm behind on so much work, because we are 2 days away at this corporate training, whatever. In the presentation, you know, the telltale signs of AI, the heading that is in bold, the M dash
or the colon,
or even the colon, yeah. And then there's the heading of every bullet point that summarizes the bullet point. The heading is in bold, and then what it actually is.
Yeah.
And then there's a certain there's a turn of phrase, there's a style of phrasing that's very. This is not just blah blah blah. It is actually a dedication to blah blah blah. You know, there's a certain style of phrasing that is so. It's rarely used in normal day-to-day speak, but it's so common in AI. I'm not mad at it. I get it. You guys, hopefully, you probably prepared what the actual thing is, and then you just ask AI to, put it into a nice phrasing and whatever. But by the way, this is if you are presenting paid for work and you just copy pasted as opposed to used AI to enhance, to finalize, to perfect, blah, 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 blah. I do think that's like low key, like not cool.
Yep.
Like you literally just, the request came in via email, copy paste, generate this for me. Thank you. Send it back. Here's my bill. Come on, man.
That is wild because, like there are ways I use AI, but I was even laughing at myself the other day and I was like, you know what? I think I'm now spending as much time as I am with prompting as I would just writing what I need to do.
Yes.
But there's certain instances where like market research or like preliminary research or top-down stuff that is really useful. But also to get it right takes a lot of understanding. So I've got some dang near like a 7 to 8 step process, but it's thorough. So
yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, I'm producing more reports, but it requires a lot of going through and it's now like my Python coding has to be on point because one thing AI is always going to mess up is the math. So, and the only way you can fix that is in Python.
What I've also sort of tried to do, there's certain things that I've tried to do like this. I'm writing out fully myself, and it's just to try and keep sharp. Do you know what I mean? Because I can see that I'm becoming a little bit too reliant on the phrasing. Put it like this, write this out this way, phrase this, put it together into summarize it, put it into bullet points, whatever, which is cool. It's helpful with that. But I also need to be able to keep sharp. So there's certain things that I will I'm writing this out myself. So there's some things that I'm doing manually just to try and keep on the ball,
Yeah, keeping sharp there, staying sharp on the ball.
Speaking of staying sharp on the ball, Phil, you know what? If you lose a rap battle, you use
I thought you were going to go a different direction, but I'm not mad.
It was a hot topic of conversation in our Patreon group this week that Drake's defamation lawsuit was thrown out. In fact, the judge said, "Hey, yo, that was a bop though. Not like us was dope though." In fact, I love the wording. Let me see if I can pull it up. Well,
it had a propulsive beat. That's what I remember. A propulsive drum line.
So everyone was expecting that, hey, Jake will take this to court. He did, and it was thrown out. So,
but he's gonna appeal, Dan. He's gonna appeal.
If
you wait, buddy. Just you wait until he appeals. You ain't seen nothing yet. The drizzler's gonna get ya.
If you don't recall what happened, Drake launched, he launched a lawsuit against UMG, Universal Music Group, claiming defamation, that they knowingly promoted and allowed a song that, was defamatory because it called him a pedophile. The judge responded with saying, yo, he just sang an opinion. Key to the case apparently was reference to Drake himself saying, that AI-generated song where he said, yeah, talk about him liking young girls. That's a gift. That's a gift from me. So okay, you literally put out a song saying, talk about this. Then he talked about it, and then now you're suing him. He just put out an opinion. He put out an opinion. In fact, the legal speak was non-actionable opinion. So it doesn't count as defamation because someone just mentioned their opinion.
But Dan, I have a question, Dan.
Yeah.
What about all the botting that he was talking about? What about him freeing artists and fighting for the little guy and stopping this payola? What happened to the payola and the bots?
By the way, I don't think Drake ever said anything about that. It was his defenders who were like, yo.
No, he did mention it. He did mention it in the
lawsuit
case. But it was because they were using payola and botting to add insult to injury. It wasn't because they were using it illegally. That was just a second order effect where people were now worried, like, yo, if this does become an issue, if he uses the fact that payola and bots are used in the industry as a way to restrict free speech, it could be a problem. But if you want to address the botting and the payola, yes, that definitely should be addressed, but not the free speech issue.
To me, the funniest thing about this entire thing is this rap beef has now been codified into actual legal documents as to who the winner is. So for those of you who still felt like, no, actually the hot pot 6, GGG, literal judge said this. Over the course of 16 days, the two artists released 8 so-called diss tracks with increasingly heated rhetoric, loaded accusations, and violent imagery. The penultimate song of this feud, Not Like Us, by Kendrick Lamar, dealt the metaphorical killing blow. The song contains lyrics explicitly accusing Drake of being a pedophile, set to a catchy beat and propulsive bass line. Not Like Us went on to become a cultural sensation, achieving immense commercial success and critical acclaim. This is the official statement from the judge. So it's now been codified in the U.S. legal records that the killing blow was Not Like Us. And man, that slapped though.
Yo, guys.
While we're in the US, Phil, did you see the news this week that some people are going home over the Charlie Kirk situation?
What did she? Sorry, I can't hear you. What did she? I'm going through a tunnel.
All I want to say
I'm going
is,
through a tunnel. I'm going through a tunnel right now.
Do you remember when Thabo said that Charlie Kirk had it coming? I remember that.
Yeah, the 6 foot words were really, 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 and also Kandoro and Munashe. I heard.
Yeah. Both Kandoro and Munashe and Thabo and Senna were. I think I heard them saying that Charlie Kirk had it coming, and I think the U.S. government needs to look into that. Honestly,
what if they do?
I do not apologize. It's going to the start of our beef. Anyway, several nationals were announced as being deported to go back home because of their opinions that they stated about Charlie Kirk, including a South African AI called music executive, Nota. I thought that was funny. There's some people I hate talking about, but in this case, hey man, that was funny, bro. Go. That's one of those people we never speak about in this podcast because they're always looking for attention. Taylor Swift, smash. Taylor Swift had the biggest album, but it's because she kept on doing this whole thing of releasing multiple versions of the album.
Not
well
only
done,
that, there's just
Taylor.
weird numbers happening there. I'm starting to
4 million first week, Phil. Broke the record.
Adele needs to come back with a clap back. Adele needs to clap back, bro.
But I read somewhere that she released, 30-something versions of that same album. So it's like acoustic version, da-da-da version, this version. And anyway. What else is there? How long have we been recording, Phil?
We've got it for a while, We've been recording for a while, Dan. Anyway, are you going to Culture Fest this weekend?
I am indeed. I shall be at Culture Fest. As you know, Phil, I am one of those people that always touches the streets and knows what's happening.
True.
Stays on the pulse. I will be at Culture Fest performing. Will be none other than Major League DJs, Scorpion Kings, DJ Kent, Nisha T's, Saint Flo, Moosley will be there. Moosley is, I remember once trying to shoot a shot and, she was so kind, but it was also like, really? And I was like, you know what? Fair enough. Pleasure to meet you.
You tried shooting a shot at Moosley?
Yeah, this was many years ago. It was
the confidence of youth. Wow.
It was. We were in a location. It was an after party of some event. And I was like, oh, hey, what's up? How you doing?
No, was it not? Was it? Okay, I know where we were. I remember where we were now.
No. It was in Bulawayo. She was there for some shutdown event for ZITF, and I was there for ZITF, and then we were at some after party. And then I was in the VIP section, air quotes, with her. And at some point, I was like, oh, hey, pleasure to meet you. My name is Dan. What's up? So it was really good. And she was like, it's also a pleasure to meet you. I was like, you know what? Fair enough. Sorry, my bad. Anyway, I'm going to go sit down. So
embarrassing.
I was like, no, it's cool. I didn't go there with the plan of shooting my shot. I just saw in my conversation, it was starting to go in that direction. And she was like, can you also just, and I was like, you're right. Anyway, yeah, I am looking forward to it, and I shall indeed be there. I don't think, will you be there, Phil?
I'll be working that night, Dan, as you know. That'll be the opening night of the African Voices Now Play Festival, brought to you by the Almasi Collaborative Arts Organization, co-founded by Zimbabwean American Danai Gurira.
Ooh, is that Okoye, also known as Michonne?
Yes, Dad, she is. So she is currently in the country working on the festival. And when I say working, I mean working. I have been inspired. And yes, I am working with the organization doing their PR and event coordination. And boy, let me tell you, it has been a hoot.
Congratulations, Phil. This is a big milestone client for you to get to your PR business.
Yes, it is, Dad. It took a lot of hard work, but a lot of hard work is yet to come, and we must deliver results.
So Danai Gurira did come to the radio station this past week, and I got to speak to her again. And this is what I was alluding to in the intro. She was literally like, wait, we've met before, haven't we? I was like, I mean, I guess if you say so. I mean, I don't remember, but if you remember, it is what it is. Jokes. I was like, yeah, I'm so happy you remembered. But no, she was cool people. She was like, oh, no, nice day.
Oh,
No. You
like...
guys, let me tell you something. I paint myself as a loser on this podcast for jokes. I have motion in these streets, Philip.
No, you don't. You're married.
No, I'm talking about social and business motion, not whatever you might be referring to. What does that? Wait, what does that got to do with anything? I have motion in these streets. I'm really good at. I don't know what I wouldn't count this as a thing that I consciously do, but I get along with people really easily. So whenever I meet people, we often like leave on a. Just today, I met this dude from the UK. His name is Samuel Leeds. Turns out he's like a super big YouTuber, but I met him. He came to the radio station there, and we spoke a little bit, and we were like getting along, and now we're talking, we're chatting, okay, cool, so we must link up, blah 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 blah. Then I was like, this dude is so familiar. Then I googled him. I was like, oh snap, this is like a pretty big YouTuber, and he's got a huge following on social media, and he's also a multi-millionaire, and he's runs all these property gimmicks and blah blah blah. Turns out he's married to a Zimbabwean, and I don't know enough. When I Googled him, I noticed a couple of questionable looking videos. So I need to watch them first before I make an opinion. But my point is, in a brief meeting with him, it almost seems like a natural thing that I get along with people really well. So I think that this has served me well in over the years. And the same is true with Danai. To remind the listeners, how I know Danai is when she first started working with Almasi and putting together these. She's essentially trying to boost theater in Zimbabwe. She came and tried. We had some time when she was promoting on radio, and then we went for a drink afterwards, and we hung out and we talked stories and blah 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 blah. And then she's like, "Wait, I remember you," and I was like, "Yeah." I didn't say like, "Yeah, we actually went out for a drink and hung out and whatever," but that's where it's from. That's what I mean when I say motion. I get along with people well, and I think it comes from me just being genuine and I'm not trying to get something out of you. I'm not trying to, what's my angle or anything like that. I'm just trying to be genuine and get to meet people and whatever. So I have motion.
Okay, yeah. Yes, Dan, you have motion. I agree with you wholeheartedly. So yeah, it's been an interesting week. Well, granted, I've been working them for a couple of weeks now, just trying to get things rolling. And there's always that bidding in process when you have a new client. But once again, as is the norm with us, especially when we weren't to handle events, we're never given an event with like a 4-month lead time. That'll be fun.
That would be amazing. Yeah, that would be amazing.
Hey guys, we're planning this next year. Anyway, get to it. And I'm like, oh wow. So I can dedicate like an hour a week to this, really think everything through, map it out, have all the assets ready, and then we just hit the ground running. So literally I got brought on with a month to go, and I was like, yep, this is a lot of work. Let's get it done. So it's been fun, man. It's been good, get your brain back in gear, getting working again, and seeing like her work ethic, it's been incredible. Like she really is leading from the front. And it's another thing where when you see someone working, but you also see them putting literally with their money where their mouth is, and you're like, yo, this person is doing a span. You've got people that are Broadway producers coming in. You've got Hollywood stars coming in. You've got people running workshops multiple times a year. You've got actors being capacitated, being trained. You've got playwrights being trained. You've got people being fed and housed and clothed. And there's so many things happening. And you're like, yeah, this isn't like the typical celeb just putting their name behind some sort of NGO and then letting other people do their work. This is someone putting their hands on the ground. And they're literally putting their hands on the dirty ground and getting in there. And I'm like, yo, I need to step my game up. So, I've been trying to play catch up. So it's been inspiring. So it has also been a lesson because, like in Zim, especially Zim in Africa, it's a catch-22. Dan, like you might reflect to this. Like when you go to South Africa and you start driving in South Africa. The first hour or two when you're driving in South Africa is a bit of an adjustment because you're like, oh yeah, I'm not driving around craziness. So I need to start driving. Let's say, quiet.
To be fair, that happens even when you go to Blayo. So
yeah,
I think it's a uniquely Harare thing. But yeah, go on.
The same thing is like, because I'm used to dealing with Zim media. So I know the laissez-faire things, right? And I kind of get used to their laissez-fairness about things and how to work around it. Because, for example, sometimes there's just the other day, a reporter clearly used ChatGPT to write an article because there were 3 quotes in that story that no one ever said, and they went in the press release.
Yeah.
And you just get used to it. Or pre-interview briefing, you take it for granted that someone A, B, C, D, E, or you're using your system and they don't use their system. So my system is, I'll put the brief in the calendar event, right? They're like, nah, fam, where's my briefing document? Who am I speaking to? Like, where's the list of questions? Let's make sure the things are done properly. And I'm like, you know what? I've kind of slacked on that because that was how I used to operate. But then you realize when you come to Zim, you don't do that. So then your muscle atrophies and then you don't remember how to do it, or you don't think to do it in the beginning. So it was like a day or two of me getting back on my P's and Q's. And I'm like, okay, yeah, let's make sure this is done properly. And thereafter, it's been good. So it's helped me work better. It's helped me work faster. There's been a lot of improvements, but yeah, it's also been interesting. I had a little bit of a mini heart attack because now people on the set, some of them already knew who I was and they knew about the podcast. And some of them have seen the videos. So they know what is behind me in the videos. And I'm like, don't say anything. Don't say anything. Don't say anything.
I mean, is that wrong?
No, it's just, I'll do that at the end of the working relationship. And speaking of bad journalism in Zim, the one hilarious one was definitely the ChatGPT one. The other one that killed me is you have a grown man, older than us, Dan, in his midlife. He finally gets an opportunity to sit with Danai. So I'm listening and making sure he doesn't cross any lines, answer any questions that we haven't approved. And I'm now like, yo, my man, sorry, we've got to wrap it up. Time for the, thing. It's like one more question, a very big question. Can you share any spoilers from Marvel Doomsday?
Oh my God. Look, you don't shoot your shot, you don't score.
I damn near picked him up and threw him out of the room. I was like, what are we doing here? And then once again, this isn't like Teen Vogue. This is an established publication. Probably the most prestigious quote unquote publication in the country.
It would be such a scoop, Phil, to be able to be,
And to a credit that I was like, yo, I'm doing other things besides Marvel, right?
Even when she came on radio, I was like, listen, I know you really want to focus on this arts movement, but you also have to understand our listeners know you from certain things. So we have to find that. And she's like, I understand that, but this is what we're focusing on. I was like, I get you. We'll find a balance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, actually, you guys are one of the reasons I got shouted at, because they're like, yo, these questions that you're asking me are not pre-approved. I'm like, you know what? My bad. I sent you a briefing document. You guys didn't read the briefing document. Cool. Going forward, thereafter, trust and believe everyone was getting.
Tell me, Phil, what time did you send the briefing document relative to the interview?
Dan.
Anyway.
Dan, this is not the time nor the place.
Okay, I have 4 things that I want to talk about. I'm going to make them all super gaga, and then we can wrap up this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, number 1, it's a little bit of a personal, private story, and I just wanted to put it out there super quickly. So, shout out to my wife. She started doing content. In a couple of months, she's hit 10K followers, and she's really good at. She's really figured out how to be engaging, and I'm actually like super impressed, right? Because she's figured it out. Like, I mean, I give a couple of tips here from the air quotes theoretical knowledge that I know, but really, it's you have to know what you're doing when you do it. She's had a couple of pretty viral videos, and it's now happened several times when we're in public. People don't recognize me from radio or podcast. They recognize her. Just today, we were taking our dog for a walk. Car drives past. I'm like, oh my goodness, I love your content. Da, 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 your cooking content that you put up. Da, da, da. I was like, yeah, it's really at that level, at that stage. But I can't believe just how negative so many people are. So
in person or online?
Online. I want to tell you a specific story. So she put out this video where she starts off by saying, I moved from South Africa to Zimbabwe, and I didn't move for soft life or for asylum. I moved for love. And she goes on to tell her story. That video had so many people commenting, are you trying to say there's no soft life in Zim? And she was so confused because she was like, wait, when did I didn't say that. And it wasn't one person, it was so many, I'm talking dozens of people said, what are you saying? What are you trying to imply? Some of them were ruder, other people were just asking, and they were all saying, so what do you mean there's no soft life in it? So now she was confused, like, did I say something weird? Did I say what? So I was like, okay, we had a conversation where I was trying to think about what is it about what she might have said that might have triggered people so much. Because her literal words were, I moved from South Africa to Zim. And I didn't move for soft life or for asylum. I moved because of love. And then she goes on to say, we met and blah, blah. And then she tells a story. Your opinion, is there something she said that implies that Zim is messed up? There's nothing nice in Zim or anything like that? Before I go for
the A word.
Asylum. So the problem is not actually the soft life that everyone's referencing. It's the asylum part.
No, it's the pairing of that word is what gets them heated, because then they're like, asylum, we know that's a bad word. And then they immediately latch it to soft life, and they're like, asylum, soft life, we know what you're trying to say. Or that's what they think. Then they project all their negativity and insecurities and so forth.
Okay. This was my theory. My theory was, as a country, we have a long-standing trauma from being what many people call international orphans. We have heard so much negative about ourselves from other people, whether it's South African xenophobes, whether it's people being deported from whatever country they're in, whether it's even ourselves, so many of us trying our best to escape this country, that we are on such red alert to hear continued insults. It's almost like how someone who's fat would hear someone say, I don't know, I don't think I'll have more to eat. And they might jump to, wait, what are you saying? And like, wait, well, no, I wasn't talking about you, I was talking about me. Or someone who's poor would hear, I don't know, it's pretty pricey. And they're like, wait, what are you saying about how much I earn? It's like, no, I wasn't talking about you, but I was talking about this specific, And then someone hears, oh, I didn't move for soft life. Oh, are you saying that we have sucky life here? Like, no, I wasn't saying that. I feel like it's almost a reactionary triggered response. So anyway, this was the theory that I put forward, and and we were talking about it because she was like I now think of taking that video down because I don't want, maybe I'm unknowingly insulting people. And I was like, nah. I mean, you didn't say anything wrong. You didn't say anything insulting. You didn't say anything insensitive. In the realm of this discussion, remember a couple of weeks ago we spoke about that British lady, I think her name is Nat, who's sort of blown up in Zim as a Brit who's moved to Zimbabwe. She got in trouble this past week because she started talking. There's two things that she did. She put out a video about the food hamper that they give their domestic workers, their maids and gardeners. And now everyone in the comments is like, clearly you're underpaying your workers because why do you need to give them food hampers? How much? Blah 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 blah. Having maids and gardeners is it's a remnant from colonialism. This is clearly white supremacy at work. Blah 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 blah, etc. Right?
They never should have given you niggas buzzwords.
And then she had another video where she was talking. She was, I think she went on a trip, and then she was showing videos of her along in the travel, and then she's showing people playing, young kids in rural areas playing football. And then she makes some statement about, I've learned that a lot of people here in Zimbabwe like to play football barefoot. Even my husband likes to do it, and my kids love to do it. And here, these kids over here also like to do it. Clearly, it's just a Zimbabwean thing that we like to be barefoot. And then she continues. And, people in the comments were like, Sisi, are you comparing your kid playing barefoot in the yard to these clearly poverty-stricken children in poor areas? Those kind of conversations. And now, she's somewhat concerned about being insensitive and saying things that might really offend people. And meanwhile, I'm over there, babes, when you offend, you get the engagement. This is our ticket out the hood.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. That's literally that's what we went into it. I was like, but it's not the right time. I would have said it. But I would be like, fam, engagement on this. Do it again.
That's what I keep like, yeah, it's not so bad, because to be fair, she's not really saying any of that. Like even in this statement. So even this statement about I didn't move for soft life, there's no implication that to prove that there's no implication that there's no soft life in Zim, replace it with any other country. Someone says, hear me out. I moved from Zim to Australia, not for asylum or soft life, but because of love.
It's a different connotation. So like even there, it has a different connotation.
So the only thing that changes the connotation is the name of the country.
Yes, because of the context that comes with it.
What is it? Tell me what the context is.
The context is because immediately I moved to Zim. Why?
Can you not see how that is your own trauma?
No, it's not trauma. It's literally the reality on the ground. Because if someone is a passive consumer of news, they look at Zimbabwe and they're like, okay, things are not going great over there. People are trying to leave there. People are leaving because she did the opposite. It's like someone moving from America to Mexico. People will be like, why?
But that's not true, Phil. We discussed it, even when we were talking about that whole net situation, we discussed that for certain groups of society, it's actually great to move to Zim.
No, but Dan, it's great to move to Zim because you're moving for soft life. Because
so someone says, I moved to Zim. Now you might be thinking it's because of soft life, but that was not the reason. The reason I moved is because of love. That was the context of her video.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying. I'm not saying she's wrong. I'm just saying I can see how someone get offended by it because they don't know her. And as we've both said, because of trauma, because of past experiences, people attribute they imbue meaning and connotation to things that aren't necessarily there. So it's not her, it's the situation. And sometimes you're a victim of circumstance. Sometimes it happens. Like you may not be the person that ran over someone's cat, right? Or whatever.
Yeah.
But now every time they see a car that's that color, they're going to have a fit because it reminds them of that.
But can you not see how, okay, you are the one who needs to do the work. Anyway, it's
but you're asking people to do work for, as we've buzzword of the whole podcast. It's not bish bash bosh. It's not this or the third. It's parasocial. When people are developing these parasocial relationships with someone, they're imbuing the values they want to see into that person and into Taz. And when they feel that Taz betrays that, they're offended. Even though Taz has not done that, nor has Taz betrayed herself. Taz betrayed herself because she was never that person to begin with. It's what they believed her to be.
To be fair, due to algorithmic things, it's not people who necessarily follow her. It's the algorithm shows the more you grow, it shows people who don't know.
So like, if I have no basis or understanding of who you are as a person, we haven't even developed that relationship. You're a blank sheet of paper, and you're a South African blank sheet of paper, and you are a colored blank sheet of paper from South Africa. I'm going to imbue all the stereotypes I have about those separate demographics onto you, which means I'm already on high alert. So if a white person, for example, who isn't from Zimbabwe and is from UK and is privileged and has a throwaway comment, which maybe has no ill intent, which is like, everyone in Zimbabwe is barefoot. In her mind, she's like, yeah, my husband is Zimbabwean. These kids are Zimbabwean. They all aren't wearing shoes. I never gave it a second thought. I just figured it was a Zimbabwean thing. Oh, I didn't have the cultural context to realize that these people are barefoot because they can't afford shoes. He's barefoot because he just likes feeling the sand. Different circumstances. But if someone doesn't point that out, sometimes you aren't open to that idea.
But guys, I didn't move for soft life. I'm sorry. I anyway, it's okay. We move. Second
For soft life.
Second of the four things I wanted to discuss. Your man Jaden Sancho been moving mad.
My man. What team of man is it?
Senna's man. Senna's man. Senna's man Sancho. And I guess Tabo's man. Which team does he even play for?
I think he's now at West Ham, isn't he?
Aston Villa, I think. Okay.
Oh yeah, one of the purple clubs. Yeah.
For those of you who follow football, actually, this is not even a football story, to be honest.
It's a general story because everyone, like, I don't think anyone was surprised when the accusations were made against a certain party. They were like, yeah, we forget.
Rapper Saweetie, who is a
working woman. That's what she is.
I mean, she a bad ting though. That's my type. Singer. Her alleged ex-manager / pimp has been crashing out on social media saying, yo, this man Sancho owes us money and he's not paying. And that led to the funniest memes I've seen in a long time and funniest discussions about because it turns out that the implication, without it being explicitly said, the implication was that this manager of Saweetie's had organized Saweetie as an escort for Jaden Sancho. This is obviously an implication. It wasn't directly said. But as you can imagine, people started pulling up pictures of who Saweetie has been with, who she's met with, who she's sat with. And then they started seeing, wait, this manager of Saweetie's, who else does she work with? Vanna, Ruby Rose and crew. Anyway, I thought that was funny. I don't think there's too much to say about it, but it's just funny. And I said something some months ago, which was the loudest people on social media are the sex workers, Phil. And I stand by that. Yeah. It is so wild to me how so many things have become so normal, but the people really pushing them are those who are trying to promote their OnlyFans and whatever. And I'm not saying this to denigrate people. I'm saying this to say there's certain mindsets that you keep seeing them as talking points come up, but that's because someone's trying to promote their OnlyFans. Anyway, thought I'd quickly mention that. I thought it was hilarious.
It's not only just about promotion. I think it's also about riding a wave. Let me not be too blanket with my statement, but they're riding a wave of independence, which is somewhat misleading sometimes. right? And
Mhm.
I'm all for progressiveness. I'm all for trying to move forward, but at a certain point, you have to ask yourself, what type of relationships are you trying to foster? You know what I mean? So all your relationships are transactional.
For some people, that's what makes it. You can't even entertain any conversation outside of that. All these, what do you bring to the table? Conversations. There's some people I know that I follow. And I can just see like, yo, you are such a bird. Like you can't even consider the possibility of normal, genuine interactions. Like to you, the things that you repost, the things that you talk about. I can't believe that this is how you see the world, and it must be so sad. And I think that a lot of that is being pushed by the OnlyFans creators of this world. So
Yeah.
anyway, that was a funny story about Saweetie and going to look at her different.
Do you think the rumors are true of why Jaden's performance might be on the decline?
No, I don't think so. I think this is just a brief peek behind the curtain of something that's super normal in certain circles anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, two more stories to go, Phil. Let's not dwell too much on Saweetie.
Why is she not your type?
I mean, I'm curious to see the rate card. That's what I'm curious to see, because if you are already like a international, basically A-list celebrity, like really? But anyway,
Sweetie A-list.
I mean, music-wise, wouldn't you consider her like?
Nope, not even close.
At least B-list, all right.
Dude, her album sold 3,000 copies. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's my best friend. Two more. Okay, I want to get into some white people business, and this is a story that I came across on TikTok that I thought was so funny. I just randomly came across it, and then I started diving down the rabbit hole. And so there is a small bakery in Arizona, United States of America. It's called the JL Patisserie. It's run by a lady by the name of Jenna. I believe she's French. She, as many small businesses have to do, which, by the way, side note, this whole, like, brands have to promote themselves on social media. We got to find a better way, guys. Like, this just does this. Like, come on, guys. Come on. Anyway,
what do you mean?
It's just, like, this can't be the way that things work. That all these companies and brands are trying to hop onto trends and do little dances and do, like, come on, bro. That can't be. You can't. Our fathers and uncles can't be going to work and then going to do a quick TikTok trend to promote the business. No, this can't be the wave. We got to find a better way of doing this. Anyway, side note, coming back to the story. So they've tried to promote their business by doing, little TikTok trends and stuff. And some of them have done okay. They are essentially like a boutique sort of artisanal bakery. They do like, pastries and stuff. Anyway, there was an influencer by the name of Glamorama. She's not incredibly huge. I'm talking like 15,000 followers or something like that, right? She's had a couple of viral videos here and there, but, not yet huge. She DM'd them, and this is now according to a video that they put out. So the bakery, JL Patisserie, put out a video.
Yeah, weirdly enough, I saw this video, but I didn't know the context.
It went ultra mega viral. So here's this, sweet little French lady. She's like, "Hi, I'm blah blah blah.
Bonjour.
This is my bakery over in Arizona," and she tells a story, and she's posting the receipts. She's posting the screenshots of the DMs and so on. She's like, we got in touch. She didn't reveal any names, but obviously internet sleuths quickly found out who it was. She says, we received a DM from an influencer who wanted to collaborate on, she wanted to come and review our food and collaborate. She wanted us to give us the food for free. We declined. We didn't have the budget for that. And we said, thank you very much, but we can't do it. She then threatened us, and she came anyway. She ate our food, and she put up a very bad review to sort of punish us for not collaborating with her. We would like to address that. And then they start addressing the different things that this influencer said. So apparently they said you use fake ingredients. You claim to be using authentic European, French, and blah, 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 and it's fake. So, she's basically going through and saying, these are the pistachios. These are the...
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was the video they put out, and honestly, it was really well put together. It was engaging. I have to give them props. It was actually funny to watch, and it went ultra mega viral. And then people started trying to find who is this influencer. And then it started all these conversations about this influencer culture. I encourage you to go look for it. It's called the JL Patisserie. It started all these conversations about influencer culture and this whole like almost mafia kind of, if you don't let us come review, we're going to say a bad review and it will kill your business and blah, 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 blah. Keith Lee got involved and he's now said, no, I'm going to come review that bakery for real, and etc. I thought it was so funny to just watch it. And honestly, as much as we might be getting into the influencer business as a family, like, yo, influencer culture has gotten a little bit out of hand in many places of the world. So I love to see, like, especially that whole bully culture that give me your stuff for free. I completely love the idea of, I'm coming to your restaurant, I'm going to order some food, I'm going to put out a real review. Dope. I'm with it. Give me food for free and I'll review it for you. Otherwise, I'll give you a bad review. Nah. Get out of here. Get out of it. More people should be calling out those kind of influencers. I thought it was amazing. Shout out to GL Patisserie. And then they've continued putting out content. And it's just like the video I saw was they put out a brief video of when the recipe says roast the pistachios. And then it puts out a video of the lady there. She's singing along to that Eminem diss of Clarence in 8 Mile to the pistachios. It's like super lame and nerdy, but it comes across as very like sincere.
Yeah, there's got to be a better way, as you said. Guys.
Anyway, you guys should look it up. That's the white people business that I want to share with you. And then finally, of the 4 things I want to mention, I finally watched Fantastic Four. I watched it this weekend with the missus. Okay, I won't lie. The missus was in the room. I watched it. She was on her phone. She was like, bro, this is, so he stretches. I was like, yes, his name is Mr. Fantastic. His powers are that he stretches. He's like, you're taking me for a fool here. So I was like, okay.
Babe, it's like yoga, you know? That's what you should have just said.
Anyway, so I kind of had high hopes. Even the reviews I saw was that it was like, Marvel is back. And so it wasn't bad. It was like fine. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. It was passable. It was a KFC meal.
It wasn't a flop. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't good. I
think they messed it up because spoiler alert. They made Sue Storm more powerful.
That was every Marvel movie I've spoken about, Phil. My concern is the power scaling. Are you telling me Galactus is a cosmic level, multiversal threat? He is literally a god in this.
And dude got pushed around by a little force field.
Come on, man. In fact, they showed his power when he literally not even snaps his fingers, he moves his finger slightly and it almost looks like he pauses time or something. And then now someone is come on, you gotta, I know it's a comic book movie, so we have to suspend disbelief to a certain extent. But you got to make things somewhat, it's got to be proportional. And anyway, yeah. So I just want to report that I watched the movie. It wasn't bad. I wouldn't say it was a flop. There were a couple of nice scenes and a couple of nice, beautiful visuals in there. And I really like the aesthetic of the 60s parallel universe of the Fantastic Four. And I think the actors were great. I think Pedro Pascal was great as a Mr. Fantastic. I think he really put across the sort of smartest man in the world, but also worried about, trying to save the world. And the Sue Storm she was fine. My wife said she looks like a villain. Johnny Storm was fine.
No, Johnny Storm was not. Actually, that's actually negative. Johnny Storm was so uncharismatic. And he's supposed to be the most charismatic member of the Fantastic Four. What charismatic thing did he do that whole movie?
I mean, did he really have time? I mean, the few scenes he did, they were fine.
Lame. He was lame.
They were just fine. What I liked was portrayal of Galactus, because I was really worried, how are you going to portray this until that Sue Storm scene? But until that point, I was like, how are you going to portray this super powerful being that in the comics, you can just draw whatever craziness, but like, how are you going to do this in live action? And I kind of think they did a good job. It's way better than the cloud that we had in the last Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah. Also, how many times are we going to have a Silver Surfer in a Fantastic movie?
Oh, Silver Surfer was dope. I liked Julia Garner as Silver Surfer. Again, I think the power scaling was a bit off. Silver Surfer is one of the like really, she's not like Omega level, but she's like another really powerful, mutant. The power scaling always just gets me. But anyway, maybe I'm nitpicking. I found it possible, like 6 out of 10. That's what I would give it. It's not a super mid on 5. It's a 6. That's what I would give it. 7 to me means like it's good. 6 is like, yeah, it's possible. It's okay. I would say it's on the same level as Thunderbolts. Like potential was there. It could have been really good, but ended up being kind of okay. So yeah, thought I'd share that. I'm now done with all talking points. I have nothing else to say, Phil. You let me know if there's something else you want to talk about before we wrap it up.
I think we covered everything. It was a good comeback episode. I'm a little tired, but we pushed through. It's been a crazy week. So yeah, man, let's get to it.
Okay, so let's end it there. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you can support both our hustles, primarily Phil's hustle by attending the Africa Voices Now Festival at the Jason Peppo Theatre. But you can buy yourself some tickets. Where do they get tickets, Phil?
Anyway, so you can get them online at magazzi.co.zw. You can also get them at the National Art Gallery and at the Jason Peppo Theatre. Or just hit us up, I'll make a plan. I'll sort you out.
Yeah, so Danai Gurira is around. She's brought her friends and some of her big Hollywood people over there. So it's a pretty big deal. I won't be there on opening night, Phil. As you know, I will be at the 263 Culture Fest, who are partners at my job. But I will definitely come on subsequent nights, and I would love to see some of the theatre productions that are over there. I don't anticipate that I have to buy any tickets, right? Yeah, good. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you very much for another episode. Hey, a lot of the conversations that we have in here are sourced from our Patreon group where we discuss them in depth. So if you'd like to join the Patreon group, please just head on over to twobroketimbos.com/donate. The helpful links are there for you. It will take you to Patreon. You can subscribe to the lowest tier, which is just $5 per month, and that will add you to the group. Or you can subscribe to some of the higher tiers as commensurate to your earning level. And if you'd like also to do a once-off donation, we would greatly appreciate that, as it helps us to keep the podcast going. Look, I've had to repair this equipment. I need your help. Meanwhile, FPL is going along strong. We have 8 participants, Phil. Is that correct? I think it's 8. I believe it's 8 participants. That's not insane numbers, but people don't want to part with their $50. I'll be honest with you guys. If you want to join now, you're still welcome. But yeah, we have them playing. We had international break this week, so there were no scores to take a look at. But I am currently topping the logs. Come and challenge me. But it's not by much. It's only by a few points. And I think that's pretty much it. So twobroketimbos.com/donate, and you'll find all the links that you need to be able to join the Patreon group where we have all these great conversations. And even if we miss a week, you'll still have access to great conversations in that group. And in the meantime, please like, share, subscribe, drop a comment in the podcast app that you're listening to, and we'd greatly appreciate it. I think that's pretty much it. We'll catch you again next week.
All right. Thanks, guys. We out.